Imagine, it's a calm Wednesday night in Washington, D.C., near the iconic Ronald Reagan Airport. The clock strikes 9 p.m., and without warning, chaos erupts in the skies. An airplane and a helicopter collide in midair, exploding into a massive flame. But what if this wasn't just a tragic accident? What if it was an event carefully planned by powerful shadow elites who want to see the world under their control? Was this collision a random disaster, or could it be part of a much larger and more terrifying plan? A plan that could lead us directly into a new world order. Stick around as we analyze the chilling theory that connects this incident to a global conspiracy aimed at shaping our future. As the clock nears 9 p.m. on Wednesday, March 22nd, the skies above Washington, D.C. are filled with the usual hum of air traffic. Ronald Reagan Airport, one of the busiest in the country, is operating just like any other night. But in an instant, everything changes. Without warning, an airplane and a helicopter collide at high altitude, sending shockwaves through the air and a cloud of smoke rising over the city. Observers on the ground are stunned as emergency sirens begin to blare. Helicopters and rescue teams rush to the scene. The crash site is a mess. The first responders are tense, unsure if the wreckage is part of a larger disaster about to unfold. Witnesses describe the terrifying sound of the collision, the deafening roar of metal twisting, and the eerie sight of debris falling to the ground. Sadly, authorities report many casualties, but the real question begins to arise. How could such an unusual and catastrophic event happen so close to the nation's capital, where security is notoriously tight and air traffic is meticulously controlled? Emergency services respond quickly, but the response seems almost too fast, almost excessively well organized. Could this swift and precise action be part of something bigger? Was it an accident, or was it staged to send a message? For years, whispers about the New World Order have circulated, a shadowy group of global elites pulling the strings behind governments, banks, and the media. Some believe they are orchestrating events to establish a single world government, a system that controls every aspect of our lives. But what if this airplane and helicopter collision was more than an accident? What if it was part of a planned event designed to push us toward this agenda? Look at the state of the world today. Global tensions are at an all-time high, financial systems are on the brink of collapse, and governments continue to tighten their control over citizens. Whether through surveillance programs, emergency powers, or media manipulation, it seems the world is getting closer to a global government. Could this collision be part of a larger, calculated effort to push us into fear and submission, making us more likely to accept total control? Now let's think about the timing. Ronald Reagan Airport is located just minutes from the heart of Washington, D.C., a city that represents the pinnacle of political power. Why would such a catastrophic event like an airplane and helicopter collision occur so close to such an important government center? What are the odds that this is just a simple accident? Could it have been carefully planned to serve a greater purpose, perhaps even a distraction or a test to see how we would react under pressure? Some theorists argue that the elites behind the New World Order use these types of incidents to test our reactions, gauge our level of fear, and even manipulate public opinion. After all, these powerful figures are known for orchestrating controlled chaos, creating situations that allow them to justify more control. The chaos of an accident like this could be part of a larger strategy, setting the stage for more government intervention or emergency laws. So, what does all of this mean? Could this collision have been staged as part of a much bigger agenda? Could this be the beginning of something much darker, where global elites push society into submission? For years, whispers about the New World Order have circulated. A shadowy group of global elites pulling the strings behind governments, banks, and the media. These powerful figures are believed to control world events, orchestrating crises and chaos to steer societies toward a single world government, a system that would dominate every aspect of our lives. But what if the collision between the airplane and the helicopter was more than just a simple accident? What if it was part of a carefully planned event designed to bring us closer to that agenda? Look at the state of the world today. Global tensions are rising, economies are on the brink of collapse, and governments continue tightening their grip on citizens. From surveillance programs to emergency powers and media manipulation, it seems the world is inching closer to a global government. Could this collision be part of a larger effort, calculated to push us into fear and submission, making us more prone to accepting total control? We are living in an age of uncertainty where traditional boundaries between nations and governments are beginning to blur. In this climate of confusion, control becomes the currency. Governments, under the guise of protecting the public, are advancing with increasingly authoritarian measures. From new security protocols to stricter regulations on what we say, watch, and even think, it's becoming clear that freedoms are being quietly stripped away. Could the collision have been part of a strategy planned to accelerate the shift? What better way to justify increased control than through an event that scares people, making them feel unsafe? Now think about the location and timing of the incident. Ronald Reagan Airport, just minutes from the U.S. political power center, is one of the busiest and most secure airports in the world. Why would something as catastrophic as an airplane and helicopter collision occur so close to such an important location? What are the odds it was just a simple accident? Could it have been carefully planned to serve a greater purpose? Perhaps even a distraction, or a test to see how we would react under pressure. Some conspiracy experts argue that the elites behind the New World Order use incidents like this as a test. They evaluate our reactions, monitor how we respond to fear, and manipulate public opinion to justify dismantling our freedoms. After all, these shadowy figures are known for creating controlled chaos, setting off events that seem random but actually serve to promote their global agenda. The accident could very well be a small part of a larger strategy to push emergency laws or more government intervention in our daily lives. Furthermore, the way the authorities responded was almost too quick. In times of crisis, especially one involving multiple high-priority agencies like air traffic control and emergency services, fast responses are expected. But was it too fast? Could everything have been planned, not just to handle the accident, but to test how far government control could be exercised instantaneously? Could this event be laying the groundwork for a broader scheme of centralizing control, not just in the US, but globally? And here's the even more disturbing point. What if the collision was designed to test the limits of public compliance? Could this event be the beginning of a series of events that will lead us down a darker path? When people are scared, they're more likely to accept government intervention and restrictions. Did the elites plan this to manipulate public opinion, gradually conditioning us to accept a world where every move we make, everything we believe, and everything we own is under their control? This event, and others like it, may be a blueprint for how they want the future to unfold. So what does all this mean? Was the collision just a random accident, or is it part of a much larger and darker conspiracy? Are the New World Order elites using events like this to silently push us toward a world where everything we do, everything we believe, and everything we have is under their control? And if that's the case, how many more events like this will it take before we realize what's really happening? Could this accident have been planned to push society closer to a New World Order agenda? What do we really know about the people in control, and what could be their next move? What do you think? Was this just a tragic accident, or are we being manipulated by forces we can't even see? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and let's discuss this further. If you're intrigued by this theory, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the hidden truths of the world.